Hey everyone, Doug at Real Simple Housing. Back for another session about talking about real estate, and I wanted to bring up to you the opportunity of using a 1031. A lot of us have heard about 1031, the acronym. It stands for a 1031 exchange, and what that is for investment property to avoid paying capital gains tax. It's been established on the IRS code books. That's why it's a 1031. It's actually the code number within the IRS. And what it does is allows you to sell commercial property without having to pay the taxes on that capital gains. You can roll it into another property, and then you can start all over with your depreciation and then also your tax basis. So it's a great tool. It's a way to really create money, long-term value, long-term wealth, and then that generational money that we always hear a lot about, and this is your opportunity to take advantage. It's a little bit beyond the average buy and sell, but if you are buying a house right now for $1,000 down, remember we spoke about that in prior videos, if you only have $1,000 invested, that's a great time to turn that home into a rental house down the road, go upgrade to your next house in a few years, 2, 3, 5. When your time in life is correct for that, then you jump on that, right? And so we could talk about putting your rental house, your current home into as a rental house and then moving forward. So first off, I want to talk about, there's like 3 things on the IRS code, and when you're dealing with the IRS, it is cut and dry. There are no exceptions. You run over and you're paying taxes. So you want to make sure you stay within it, within their parameters. And I will reiterate, and I'll do it again at the end of the video, work with an experienced tax exchange professional. I've got several of them that I've worked with in the past with great success. Go ahead and contact me, Doug at realsimplere.com, or hit me in the website, realsimplehousing.com. Send me a quick note. Let me know that you need a list of exchangers. I'd be happy to send them to you. My days in banking, I used to put on 1031 exchange classes with exchangers. I've got great relationships. Happy to get you turned on to them. So let's start off here on the 1031, get you going. First thing to remember, hard and fast, you have 45 days from the time you close your property. So the time you close your investment property, it goes into the 1031 exchange holder. You cannot touch that money. If you touch the money, you're taxed on it, right? So you put it into a third-party intermediary that handles those funds, and then you have 45 days to identify 3 properties that you expect to be able to close on, and those 3 properties need to be like kind. So it has to be a similar kind of rental. Hey, Doug, I got a rental house, a single-family rental house. I'm thinking about moving it into a multifamily apartment. Absolutely, that'll work. You can work land into rental homes. You can work. There's a number of different things that'll qualify, but we definitely, with your exchange provider, you want to make sure that you identify the correct properties within 45 days. There's a document that they will submit to the IRS identifying those to keep you in compliance, and then they will walk through with you what is considered like kind for the property that you sold. Now, so first thing, 45 days. Second one, 180 days. Of those 3 properties you identify in the first 45 days, you have 180 days, not after the 45 days, but actually at the end of your closing. So if you closed May 1, then those are all your trigger dates that come after this, okay? So it's not 180 days after the 45, it's 180 days at closing. And so you want to make sure you stay in compliance with that. And you have 6 months basically with which to close one or all of those 3 properties to make sure that you have one like kind, and then you utilize all the funds from your sale. If you end up taking money out of the sale, which you are allowed to do, so say, hey, Doug, guess what? I need $50,000 to go buy a new car, and I have $200 coming out, so you take $150 to buy your next property, and you take $50 out, you're only taxed on the $50,000 that comes out. It's called boot. So if you receive boot, you'll be taxed on it. Last part, when you finish your exchange, so at the end of the 180 days, you have 2 years that you have to hold that property before you can resell it. Now there's other ways with which the reverse 1031 and several other ways that you can kind of work on it. Those are nuances to the code that you really have to work with somebody that's experienced in those types of transactions, but there are ways that you can work in a 1031 that are not necessarily as cut and dry as this, but ways with which to do it. So again, get with an experienced agent or provider, 1031 provider. Make sure that you're working with somebody that's knowledgeable, years of experience, understands the code, bonded. You don't want them taking off with the money. They're handling large dollar amounts. I suggest working with big ones. As I mentioned prior, contact me. I'd be happy to provide you with some names of some people I've worked with, and we can get you through the process. But it's a great tool for satisfying your tax demand. If you end up having a sale, you can avoid taxation, keep that money, keep it working for you, rechange your basis, you be set. So in any case, Doug at Real Simple Housing, I look forward to helping you with this. I'd be happy to represent you as the salesperson, broker, when you're actually purchasing the property, selling your property. I can do that on the sales side, on the real estate, and I work closely with the intermediary, the exchange, 1031 exchange provider, to make sure that we stay in compliance throughout the whole process.